It is decision time for Matt Rhule at Nebraska. Is Dylan Raiola the guy? Locked on Big Ten starts right now.
You are Locked On Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Sheeman, coming up on 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer. I want to thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And today, our episode is brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and get started. We're going to talk about the Huskers quarterback options, not option quarterbacks, quarterback options, plus big news in the Big Ten and our Tuesday tweets. When Matt Rhule and his staff flipped 5-star freshman quarterback Dylan Raiola from Georgia to Nebraska, I declared it to be the biggest flip in college football, and certainly the Big Ten. And I still feel that way today. And now it's time for Matt Rhule to officially name him the starter for the Huskers. He indicated that he would finally make a decision on a starting quarterback sometime this week. So we are waiting for him to make it official. Now, this offseason, I read all the stories. I saw all the stats. I heard all the people talk, myself included. And I thought, cool, great. You know, Raiola will be a big part of the Huskers' future moving forward, maybe get his feet wet this year, be the guy next year. After all, let's be real. True freshmen quarterbacks don't start immediately at Power 4 schools, right? Almost exclusively. I mean, just look at what's going on at Ohio State right now. They have 2 5-star freshman quarterbacks in their quarterback room. And even though Julian Sayin is coming on strong right now, the Buckeyes starting quarterback job is going to go to the veteran transfer, Will Howard. He's got the most experience and he's ready to go. But then I saw Dylan Raiola play in the Huskers spring game on the Big Ten Network. Wow. That's all I can say is wow. Look, he was only 18 at the time because he was an early enrollee. He should have been getting ready for prom. He should have been getting ready for his senior exams. He should have been ordering his cap and gown for his normal high school graduation in May. But no, that's not how it was going down. He's ready to go, and he's at Nebraska early and participated in spring football and blew a lot of people away, myself included. Instead of doing all these high school things I just mentioned, he was sitting there calmly standing in the pocket in front of tens of thousands of fans at Memorial Stadium and just flinging passes to his receivers like he'd been doing it forever. I thought then, and I think now, that this kid will be the starting quarterback on day one for Matt Rhule. The minute I saw him in spring football, I said, this guy's the guy day one. Now, there was some hedge room, right? True freshman, maybe you don't start him on the first play of the first game, whatever. I think he's the guy right from the get-go. Again, Matt Rhule will make his decision and make it public this week and make it official. Now, here's the problem, though. All right, let's work through this just a little bit here. More of a challenge than a problem, really, if you want to think about it. The Huskers were good enough to be a bowl team last year. They really were. And they haven't been to a bowl game in many, many years. But to turn the ball over 31 times, they lost a lot of one-score games. And had they just shored that up here or there, they would have been a bowl team. Problem was at quarterback. They had 3 quarterbacks played significant minutes last year. Now, taking care of the ball has to be the number one priority for the Huskers this year. Make that the top priority, the second priority, the third priority. You get it. So here's the challenge. Offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield says that he's having a zero tolerance policy regarding turnovers this year. That's what he should say. He says, if you turn the ball over, you're out. You're back on the bench. You're off the field. Period. Well, here's the problem. Your starting quarterback, if it's Raiola, as we expect, he's going to make some freshman mistakes. Everybody does, no matter how good you are. there's going to be turnovers. It's going to be a learning curve. So if you're a coach, where do you draw the line regarding that mandate for the rest of your team? Does it apply to everybody equally? Would that be the definition of zero tolerance? Do you allow Raiola an interception a game, pull him after the second one, put him back in later in the game after he's learned his lesson sitting on the bench? It's going to be an interesting scenario to see how that plays out. I don't know, maybe Raiola will come in and he won't turn the ball over. It's highly unlikely, but it's possible. There are some other options here, sort of. Heinrich Haarberg is back, but he was one of the 3 quarterbacks that played regularly last year. He was part of the turnover problem last year. However, he is by far the most experienced quarterback on that roster. Does he start and then Raiola come in? Kind of like what I just mentioned what's going on at Ohio State. They gave the starting job to the most experienced guy while the young freshmen are figuring things out. I don't think that's going to be the case in Nebraska. In fact, I'm almost certain of it. Ohio State's playing it with a different depth level, different deck of cards than anybody else right now. So they can do whatever they feel like they need to do. But we're talking about Nebraska here today. There's also another freshman on this team, Daniel Kalen. He was pretty good. And he also enrolled early in January with Raiola. We don't hear much about him because he's already in Raiola's shadow, and he will continue to be so. And when he decided to commit, he was going to be the guy, but then Raiola flipped from Georgia to Nebraska, and now all of a sudden they're both coming in. Some people say Kalen reminds them of Kirk Cousins. That style. Took care of the football in high school. All that. He'll be very good. Matt Rhule speaks very highly of him. In fact, Matt Rhule says that both, you expect to see both Dylan Raiola and Kalen in the NFL someday. So he thinks he's that good. I don't know if he'll be able to keep them both and keep them both happy at the same time. But if you go by the unofficial depth chart during practices that were open to the public this year, Raiola took the first team snaps, followed by Haarberg and then Kalen. That's how it's gone. But right now it's decision time for Rhule. And he says all the right things. Everybody's working hard. He feels like he has 3 guys that can lead the Huskers to victory. The Huskers open up the season August 31st against UTEP. And then watch out for that big one. Week 2 hosting Coach Prime, Shedeur Sanders, Colorado. I can't wait for that game. So if it goes the way we think it's going to go, sometime this week we'll announce that Raiola will be the starting quarterback. He'll have the UTEP game to get his feet wet, and then boom, big Colorado game, a lot of media attention. It'll be at home, so that's good. And I'm expecting big things out of Raiola this year, and I know Husker fan is too. Every once in a while I every time I talk about the Huskers, you guys are excited, go Big Red and all that. Get a few comments from a few people. We get this hype every year with Nebraska, and then they don't come through. I don't think that's the case this year. Again, this was a team good enough to be a bowl team, but they had quarterbacks that turned the ball over. If Raiola develops quickly and takes care of the football on this team, I think at a minimum, it's a bowl team. What do you think? Love to hear from you. You guys can hit me up. Many ways to get in touch with me. First of all, Twitter or X at Talk Big 10, number 10. Also, you can hit us up on our website, talkbig10number10.com. Get your Nebraska gear, your Big 10 gear, shirts, hats, all that ready for the season, and comments on YouTube as well. Be sure to subscribe. By the way, can I stop right there? Thank you to all of you. We hit 10,000 subscribers. That was our goal. You hear me talking about it all the time. Thank you. We did it. We took over this channel that already existed. It was already running at about 1,200 subscribers last summer. And we have just added subscribers at an incredible pace, 500 and 600 a month here. And it's just been crazy. And my goal was, it was my pipe dream goal. I'll be honest with you. My pipe dream goal, hey, maybe we can hit 10,000 before the season starts. We hit 10,000 today. Thank you very much. 10,000 subscribers. If you haven't, there's plenty more room for you here. Jump on the old bandwagon and subscribe. And you can follow Locked On Big Ten for free wherever you get your podcast. And no matter how you listen, audio or video, we always ask you to share it. Share it with just one person that you think likes Big Ten football, an alum, a friend, a fan. So subscribe and follow and share and like Locked On Big Ten wherever you get your podcast. That way you get the latest episode of this podcast as soon as it becomes available each and every day. And then don't forget our website, talkbig10, 10.com. All right, coming up, you know Archie Griffin. You younger people, I'll have to tell you, Archie Griffin at Ohio State won the Heisman twice. He is the only one to win it twice. Now he's getting statues. It's about time. We'll tell you where they are. Got some injury news for the Ducks. And why do people think Michigan will have trouble with coordinating their stripe out game versus USC? That's all coming up next right here on Locked On Big Ten. Ibata is a great deal. If you spend money, we all do. You're a family person, you got to buy stuff for the kids, sandals, sunscreen, snacks for the kids, summer stuff, barbecue stuff, lawn stuff. It adds up, costs a lot of money. And Ibata is a free app, and it'll let you earn cash back every time you shop. You can earn on hundreds of items from groceries, beauty supplies, toys. You can, and you know, with inflation as high as it is, you can make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. In fact, the average Ibata user earns $256 back each year. Right now, Ibata is offering our listeners $5 just for trying Ibata and using the code LOCKEDONCollege when you register. So just go to the App Store or Google Play Store and download the free Ibata app to start earning cash back and use the code LOCKEDONCollege. That's Ibata, IBOTTA, in the Google Play or App Store, and use the code LOCKEDONCollege with Ibata. Well, thank everybody for making Locked On Big Ten your first listen each and every day, especially you everydayers out there. Meanwhile, as we said, go ahead and subscribe and share and like and follow Locked On Big Ten wherever you get your podcasts. Locked On Big Ten, your team or your teams every day. And don't forget our website, talkbig10.com. And for a second listen, check out Locked On College Football. They have a podcast. Spencer McLaughlin hosts that each and every day, issues on and off the field as we get ready for the college football season. It is Locked On College Football, available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. The Ohio State Buckeyes, their legendary running back, Archie Griffin, the only two-time winner of the Heisman, he is getting some statues, finally, right? He's getting a statue, two of them, as a matter of fact. They just unveiled one at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. And the new athletic director there at Ohio State, Ross Bjork, revealed that there will be another statue unveiled. The all-time great will be at Ohio Stadium. Statue of him finally at Ohio Stadium. They're going to unveil it August 30th. That is the day before the Buckeyes open up the 2024 season versus Akron. Now, Griffin is also as great as he is with the Heisman and as great as he was at Ohio State. He's part of the Rose Bowl game Hall of Fame. He's one of two players to start 4 consecutive Rose Bowls. Woody Hayes once said that Griffin is a better man than even a football player. And I just have one question for Buckeyes fans. Why did it take 50 years for him to get a statue at Ohio Stadium? I mean, the Rose Bowl is one thing, but right there at Ohio Stadium, this is long overdue, right? Very much deserved. Love to hear from you Buckeye fans on that. From the Buckeyes to Michigan. Michigan is known for large crowds at the Big House. That's an understatement, right? And they're going to have the maize out for the game against Texas. You're going to have all that yellow maize all around the bowl of 107,000 people, and then the orange uniforms of Texas. Maybe they'll probably clash a little bit, but it'll look really cool. But the school just announced its first ever stripe out game for its September 21st game against USC. Michigan tried to simplify this process by alerting fans via social media what to do and where, depending on what to wear, depending on what section you're in, where your tickets are. It's very simple. Even sections, by the way, if you're in an even numbered section, you wear blue. If you're in an odd number section, you wear maize. Very simple. Students are going to be there in the corner, like always. They're going to wear the maize as well. So it's going to be a big chunk of maize and then the stripe around the stadium. So, the maize outs have worked great in the past. They got the workout, the word out, and it's always looked good. But social media is hammering Michigan. They are doubtful that the stripe out will work because it is difficult to get 107,000 people to do something for the first time. Probably Buckeye fans, really. I'm probably making fun of Michigan fans. That's what I think. I mean, somewhere Penn State and Tennessee fans are laughing. They do this stuff all the time. Penn State has its white outs and its stripe out. Tennessee fans do it in blocks, orange and white. So it can be done. I do have some bad news for the Oregon Ducks. So their projected starting right guard, Matthew Bedford's knee injury is going to keep him out for an undetermined amount of time. Now, head coach Dan Lanning says they're not going to push him, try and get him a return too early. But he did offer a ray of hope and says that Bedford will be back in time to play some games this season. So he's not lost for the season. He's a senior transfer from Indiana, where he was a multi-year starter over there in Bloomington. So they want to get him back. All right, Nebraska volleyball. We started talking about Nebraska football. Let's talk about Nebraska volleyball for a minute. They're always doing something, some kind of promotion. It's getting them a lot of attention and a pretty good program to boot. So they set a record for the largest crowd about this time last year when they had their outdoor game in the packed Memorial Stadium, home of the Huskers football team. Now they're going to play in the first nationally televised regular season volleyball match on August 27th on ABC. It's part of the ABCA First Serve Showcase. It's in Louisville. Of course, last year's national runner-ups, Nebraska, they will face Kentucky at 7 o'clock Eastern. And then the nightcap will feature Wisconsin, another Big Ten team, versus Kentucky. Last year, the Huskers had a great year. They went 33-2, 19-1 in the Big Ten while winning their fourth Big Ten title. So they're always doing something cool with either getting on national TV here early on or doing what they did in the football stadium last year, setting the record, getting all sorts of attention. I think it's pretty cool for sure, and wanted to mention it to you as well. All right, it is Tuesday. You know what we do? We do Tuesday tweets. If you're watching on video, there's my Twitter handle, or X, @TalkBig10. Send us something cool. I'll put it on the show. I got a lot of good ones here, and I will have that for you coming up in 1 minute. Tuesday tweets. Don't go anywhere. Right here on Locked On Big Ten. FanDuel makes sports fun, even more fun than they already are. So you've heard us talking about FanDuel a lot. It's America's #1 sports book. And got something a little different for you here. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and then get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Pretty good. Then with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to download America's #1 sportsbook. Got some picks for you here. Baseball tonight. I'll take the Diamondbacks over the Marlins. By the way, parlay a couple of these. You'll up your possible winnings, right? Want the over in the Rockies and Nationals. Take the under in the Guardians and Yankees. The O's over the Mets and the Royals over the Angels. And then on Saturday, Florida State will cover the 11.5 against Georgia Tech. There's our first official pigskin pick, all on FanDuel. FanDuel.com/lockedon and download America's #1 sportsbook. Time now for Tuesday tweets. This is always fun. It's one of my favorite segments because it's what you guys are doing and contributing to this podcast. I'm going to put it on full screen and then you can check it out. And if you are on audio only, I'll describe them as best I can. And we will start with this one. This is from at the College Basketball Report, and it is a picture of a full football stadium, a basketball court, and a baseball field, and pretty nice pictures. It says this week marks the beginning of 45 consecutive weeks of college football, college basketball, and college baseball. 1 week right after. How about that? That's pretty good. A lot of people excited about it. This is from at 11 Warriors. Emeka Egbuka, Travion Henderson, Jack Sawyer, and Cody Simon. All Egbuka is here pictured with Henderson. Ohio State's captains for the 2024 season. That's a big deal, big honor. Those are your 4 captains. So they tweeted that out. That's cool. And speaking of one of them, from at the Scarlet and Gray podcast, give him a shout out here. Senior linebacker Cody Simon going to be wearing the black O this season. Here's a picture of him holding it, standing on the 50-yard line. Here is from at Hawkeye_historian is a picture of Iowa sophomore golfer Noah Kent. He has advanced to the U.S. Amateur Championship match. He has secured an invite to the 2025 Masters at Augusta. Aside from Caitlin Clark, this may be the story of the year in Iowa athletics. That is a big deal. That is a big deal. Congratulations to him. Here's a picture of some USC Trojan players practicing. It is from at USC football, fall camp 2024. Picks to go hard. These guys are ready to go and ready for the season. One of them, by the way, Miller Moss, going to be anxious to see how he performs, if he can duplicate anything close to that 6-touchdown performance he had in the Holiday Bowl. Here's a picture from Washington football and their camp, bunch of practice shots from at Washington football, 2 weeks out. Hashtag all about the W. That's right. Welcome to the Big Ten. All right, this is from at College Football Report. The 20 best college football non-conference games this season. So of 20 of them, I already see Notre Dame on here 5 times. Let's see. The number 1 non-conference game on the list, the Texas Longhorns at the Big House taking on Michigan. Yeah, that's number 1. Got the Southern Cal Trojans at 3 and 4, the LSU and Notre Dame games. So cracking the, we got 3 of the top 4 non-conference games, big games of the year, Big Ten teams. Let's see what else we have here. There's Florida State at number 5. Florida State and Notre Dame at number 5. I could say that is a battle of future Big Ten teams, but that'll get it stirred up. Not yet. What else we have? Penn State, number 8 on the list with their season opener against West Virginia. At West Virginia, by the way. Might that game be tricky? Could be. They've got a number 11, the Iowa Hawkeyes game against Iowa State. Of course, that game is always great. Nebraska, Colorado is number 12. That is in week 2. That's at Nebraska. Can't wait for that. And then that actually ranks ahead of Alabama at Camp Randall taking on Wisconsin, who come in at number 13, followed by number 14, Boise at Oregon. And as I peruse the list, I think that is it for Big Ten teams. Again, best non-conference games of 2024, according to the College Football Report. That's a pretty good list. Here is one that I retweeted at Talk Big Ten. It says best secondary in the biz. It's the secondary of the Oregon Ducks, all dressed up. That is from at Cook and Quack. Good handle. Good name. I said, by the way, yeah, maybe, but maybe also Ohio State. Best secondary. We'll find out October 12th. Here's from at Millbear26, Melissa. It is a picture of the Oregon Duck falling over on top of an Ohio State cheerleader, a male cheerleader. And again, October 12th, those two go at it. And then maybe again for the Big Ten championship. Here's from at Don Thomas, the real Don Thomas. I forgot this is the podium, the stage on the field of the national championship after the 34-13 win over Washington for Michigan. It is a little video. It says, I forgot to bring it up today that Michigan won the national championship, so let's make sure I do it. Michigan won the national championship. Hashtag go blue. Congratulations. And here's my favorite tweet of the day. It is by us. We retweeted it at Talk Big Ten. Thanks to everyone for supporting our show and helping Locked On Big Ten grow. And it's a graphic of Locked On Big Ten, 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Locked On Big Ten available on all platforms. Thank you. And congratulations to us and congratulations to you. And thank you to you for all of you making that happen. Pretty nice way to end Tuesday tweets for sure. All right. Keep subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, jump on board. Be like the other 10,000 people. Many ways for you to interact with us. Twitter, at Talk Big Ten, number 10. Also comments here on YouTube, if that's how you get this podcast, and our website, talkbig10number10.com, where you can get all of our podcasts in chronological order, or also group by your favorite school. And while you're there, out of a convenience, you can order your favorite team's shirts, hats, pennants, all kind of merchandise right there. Talkbig10.com, talkbig10.com. In the meantime, again, be sure to subscribe and follow and share this podcast right now on your favorite podcast app, and you'll get the latest episode of Locked On Big Ten as soon as it becomes available each and every day. Check out another episode after this one. Get caught up a little bit. We're very excited about the upcoming season. We've got a lot of great stuff out there. And for another listen, a second listen, if you will, check out Locked On College Football. They have their own podcast there with Spencer McLaughlin each and every day. They talk about everything, transfer portals, NIL, recruiting, all that stuff, expanded playoffs. And you can check that out. Locked On College Football, available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. That'll do it. Again, thank you for the 10,000 subscriptions, and we just keep on rolling with all of that. Spread the word. Share us with your favorite friends and alum that follow Big Ten. Let them know we're out here putting this out every single day for you. Always enjoy our visits and never take them for granted. And I already can't wait till we meet next time tomorrow, right here on Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Sheeman. See you next time.